So, something about IT and technology, people, I don't know what it is. We all have some type of obsessive, compulsive, evil need to put acronyms and assign acronyms to everything. I used to joke that our acronyms had acronyms. It's not a joke anymore. It's actually kind of sad. What's even more sad is I understand why we do it, and that is because when we're talking to our techie friends, um, you know, via keyboard, because that's the way techs talk with each other, um, it's so much more efficient to type a 3 or 4 or 5 letter acronym than it is the 40 syllable thing that we have to type and then get embarrassed when we type technology wrong. Um, it makes sense. So, what in the world does this have to do with tonight's cybersecurity topic? Well, tonight's topic's actually a complete and utter deviation from the norm of cryptic and insanely crazy thing that we usually do with our terminology. It is actually what it sounds like. I'm Ron Trotter, TC Computer Consulting, and tonight we're covering phishing and spear phishing. Now, make sure you get the spelling on this right, though, because it can't be normal phishing. People might get confused. So it's phishing with a PH instead of an F. Same thing on the spear side. Just so that we can, make the distinction and no one gets confused. But it is phishing, literally. The bad guys are the fisher people, and the bait that they're using is typically email, but it could also be chat and social media posts. It could live in different platforms. Um, and what they're looking to catch is privileged information, credentials, confidential information, maybe even contact information that they could probably then exploit and spearfish someone. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're just covering phishing right now, and that's really the base definition of it. It is literally fishing for information by using some type of bait. Um, Now let's go to spearfishing. Now, spearfishing, the difference between fishing and spearfishing is that spearfishing uses personalized information within that bait. So, for instance, if they're able to compromise a social security number, get not that they'll hack you, but they can get a list from something that has been hacked, insert thousands of places that have been hacked at this point. The health system's been hacked, the financial system's been hacked. Your social security number is probably out there somewhere. But by putting the last 4 digits of your social security number, if there's some type of financial institute, your guard starts coming down because, hey, they know who I am. That must be legit. Let's go to a very classic example, and it doesn't necessarily apply today because the banks have actually done a pretty good job. They were probably one of the early adopters, and I think it was just easier for them on a stop loss basis to make it more difficult for the bad guys to do what they're doing. But again, I get ahead of myself. Let's pretend for a moment that Bank of America is your credit card company. You get an email from Bank. It looks like it comes from Bank of America. It's got their logo. Everything's in it. It's spelled correctly because the bad guys are Englishing very well these days. You like that Englishing? And it says very simply, we have detected possible fraudulent activity in your transactions. Please log into your account to review your transactions as soon as possible with a link to your account that looks like a link to your account. So your mind probably already went 15 steps ahead and you're thinking about, oh, I hope that didn't happen. I'm going to have to log into all those websites and put my credit card in. Oh, I don't even know where that credit card is, what bills it's paying. I don't, you're already probably there thinking that your account's gotten hacked. And that's what the bad guys wanted to do. That was the whole purpose of doing what they did. Now imagine if they also put your address in there in the last 4 digits of your social security number. Now, again, that should set off a red flag because almost every state, well, Many of the states in the United States now, that's a no-no. You can't have any part of the Social Security number being sent in email because that's considered a privacy issue and definitely a compliance issue. So any part of that in there should set off a red flag, but it may not for everyone. So let's say you get that, it's even more legitimate. Now let's switch to a more spear phishing type of thing. Now, where do they get the information from spear phishing? A lot of it's dark web information. Like I said, we've had stuff compromised all over the place. Your social security numbers out there, everything. And then we have some, as a society, we need to do these quizzes and stuff on social media. And you end up actually giving a lot of the answers to those stupid security questions that they do. So, where do you end up with at the end of the day there? It's, you have to question every email that comes in, especially when there's a story, because they may go to your social media posts and know that you're at a certain place and know when you were there and know the details that you may not even remember putting into a social media post and use that against you in terms of establishing a rapport, establishing trust. So you've already gone into that email, whatever it's asking, saying, oh yeah, they know who I am. This is legitimate. So that's how they get you. Now let's go back to that banking example. In the old days, you would put in your credentials and literally within moments, they would actually take you to the site, your actual site. You'd look through the transactions, you get caught up on one that you don't possibly remember. And by the time you figured that thing out, they probably already drained your account. How did that happen? Because a lot of this is automated. It's all done behind the scenes. People really not doing it. And the same thing can happen on the spear phishing side as well. Right now, the most popular spear phishing email that I've seen is the Office 365 credential dig. And it pretty much goes like this. We found some XYZ problem with your account. Please log into your account to verify this setting, to not have your email shut off, to correct the billing issues so that we don't shut you off, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Insert, whatever here. And they give you a link that looks like it is relevant to a Microsoft link. And you click on it and you put in your credentials and it doesn't work, but it directs you to a page that asks you for the credentials again. You think you just mistyped it. You type it in again, and boom, they now have credentials to your site, and they typically sit on those until they can utilize them. So, if you've ever gotten an email like that, just go change your password for Office 365 right now. Just what I'm going to say after this is not important. Just go change your password, so you don't have a compromised account. And that's really the gist of it. I hope that you were able to learn something from this and you look at your emails a little bit differently now going forward. And if you found this helpful, please do like and share it so that we can help others. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.